About time for another Coach Life. The wildest thing happened yesterday. I'm coming back. Look at my OG Faith. I'm coming back from Boston, and I'm on the ferry, the Martha's Vineyard ferry, going from Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard. Now, mind you, I've been traveling so much the past few days that I'm just in travel mode. It didn't really dawn on me until I sat and watched the water through the window that I'm going home. I was like, oh, I'm not a traveler and I'm going home. Like I'm traveling home. This is a completely different feeling, right? So I'm like acclimating to that. And then I see Mr. and Mrs. Cutler. These are folks that Miss Cutler basically, I don't know if she got me into Avon Old Farms, but she definitely helped me along the way with financial aid and a lot of stuff, right? So just kind of like a key person in my high school days, my transition from middle school wildness to high school, like, you're going to be all right. You're going to be, diligence type of thing. For those that don't know, I went to an all-boys boarding school. So I'm pretty sure this came from that. This is what we had to wear, a blazer and a tie every day. But anyways, and we lived at the school. That's a boarding school. You lived there. So we had dormitories, all this, the whole thing. So Miss Cutler was a pivotal person during that time of my life. So anyways, I run into her and her husband. Wonderful. They're amazing. They're a beautiful couple, right? And we're talking, but as we're talking, I keep noticing that things aren't registering right. I keep thinking that sounds outdated. That sounds okay. So they said they ran into a person who spoke very highly of me, and they know me and all sorts of. I said, oh yeah, who? Back at the school, and they said the person's name. I said, I have no clue who that is. Not one clue. And they're like, oh really? He's the diversity, equity inclusion person, and he spoke very highly of you, and they have a diversity club now. And I was just like, in my mind, I was just like, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. But I was also like, I don't even know this person. It just felt so disjointed. And it wasn't just the logic of it. If something else felt very disjointed. And so we talking more, and we're, connecting on how strange it is for some people to be wearing masks and some people not, and such. But I'm like, the way the conversation is going, it felt strange. Like usually when I see an OG from high school or something, it's like hugs and it's just also. And then I realized they were slightly terrified, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm putting two and two together of what they said. And then finally, as if I needed clarity, and the universe was just like, boing. Miss Cutler was like, yeah, this is our first time out since his birthday or something. And I was like, wait a minute, what'd you say? And they were like, yeah, it's our first time out, really, since the pandemic. And I was like, oh, I didn't even, it was like, foo, woo, 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 woo. Because I've been sitting here talking about, I know that there's people who haven't been out and how the experience must be for them. But I didn't know that I knew the people who hadn't been out and what the experience was like. So then once we said that, we were we started really connect and, bond and share. So it was that truth was somewhere demanding attention, but I didn't know that's what was happening. It was very cool, actually, but interesting to try to figure out in real time. So then I was just, after we, said goodbye and wished each other well, I was sitting down thinking why was that so powerful? And then it was like, bing, like I've been sitting here talking about people who haven't been out, like just holding space for them, but not really. I really didn't, like low key, I didn't necessarily believe that there were people who actually hadn't been out, because everybody that I know was like, yeah, I gotta, I gotta put these things together. I got life to live. And then, so that light bulb went off, and then another huge, because Rose and I just finished talking about how bizarre it must be for people, and how this would be the weekend for everyone who kind of made a pandemic-based life decision, and because they weren't forced into having to like face reality, they got to live in this kind of pandemic cocoon, which is they're just not being hatched. And we're just not being hatched as well, just in a different way. But again, it was an idea. It was people somewhere. It wasn't like, oh, I know these people. So it was a lot to be connecting in a moment of transition where I'm already, like, I got to figure out where I'm living in the next week or so, and move out of my place by the 5th, and the 1st. That's like 4 days. Yikes. That's going to be fun, though. I have so much fun stuff to give away. I'm going to try to do like a yard sale thing as well. I got so many goodies to give away. This is going to be fun. So anyways, that's my coach life for today. I don't know exactly what that is. We were talking about it, and I knew I was holding space for the folks, but I just didn't know that I would know the folks who would actually have experienced the pandemic bubble. I guess this coach life should be called Rebirth. Cause it's funny, this Memorial Day weekend, it was just very clear. People it was like life 2.0. After this is like the post-pandemic, even though it's very far from. This is how people playing it, so I'm gonna let it be what it is. They're playing, people were playing, they were going hard this weekend. Whatever it was very, if you go back to the Great video, that's exactly how it felt. Everything was on roids. There was some beautiful, beautiful moments. Subtle. I heard a piano player play Overjoyed, Stevie Wonder. But then he played, damn, what was that song? It'll come back to me, but I would have paid $200 for that. And then the hawk was hovering as he was playing. We were in the middle of the park in Boston, Bizarre. Anyways, coach life.